Hello everyone, hope you're all well. So today I thought I'd try to fit a dash cam to my relatively new BYD Atto 3. It's relatively new because I picked it up in September, so it's only 3 months old. So this is September 2025. We're now in December 2025, and I've actually had it for a couple of months. I just haven't got around to doing it. So I've looked at all the videos, seen what everybody else has done. I'm not really doing anything different to what everybody else has done, but there were a few things that I found very difficult. So I thought I'd take you through it, just in case this may help. If it doesn't, fine. It isn't difficult, but there's a couple of things that I think wasn't explained to me when I looked at all the YouTube videos. So let's get on. I'll show you the bits and pieces. I'll show you what I've done and hopefully it's helpful. Okay, so this is the panel you need to take off. I won't go through how to take off. It's really is quite easy to do. It fits like that. It basically fits like this up into here, and it's just a case of putting your hand around the back as other YouTubers have shown, and you just pull it. What I did find slightly more difficult is that around here it gets stuck, and everything else pulls out. All around here is fine, just this bit here it gets stuck. Now what I found really helpful was this little device that came with it, with the package. I think they used this for the center area, where you actually fit the dash cam. But what I did was I actually just inserted it here to there, and then just push that way and push that way, and that clips it out. I think that's a better way of doing it. I think if you force it, you will break the clips. So that's one thing I found. Okay, now the thing I found really difficult was, I don't know why anyone's not mentioned this, is how on earth do you get this cable here there? It's behind this black cable here. Okay, so no one said this, and maybe it was just obvious and they didn't need to say it, but there's no way you can push this cable behind there. It's just impossible. I tried for about 20 minutes and I just gave up, tried everything. So the better way to do it is to take this cable out. That's what I found. So there's a little clip here. You need to push that down and pull it slightly just to release it, and then I put a screwdriver just gently inside of here and prised it away. And then what I did was, on this cable here, was that I just bent it to an L shape and then pushed it in and then clipped it in place. So that took me, once I got this out, it took me about 5 minutes to get that in. It's a little bit awkward. Make sure you understand which way it goes. So there's two little holes on one end, and they come towards this way. So on the left hand side, there's two little clips. So make sure you just push it in, and then make sure it's well seated. So what I did was I pushed it in, and then I got a screwdriver and just very gently on the top and the bottom I pressed it until I heard it click. Very important to do that. Once I did that, I then just pushed it back in again, and we went on to the next stage, which pretty much everybody has covered already. Okay, so once you've connected the cable, you then need to connect it to your camera. It's exactly the same way. Again, it's the same cable on both ends. You've got the two little clips here, two little pins in here. It's quite obvious, and then that just clips into place. So that's now a completed camera circuit. And then in order to get it working, what you need to do is you need to hold down this button here for about 10 to 15 seconds, keep it held, and then you'll see that the screen will go black and it will just reboot. So once it's rebooted, it comes back to the home setting. What you need to do is you need to press this button here. And what confused me was that everybody said that a new icon would appear here and it would say the words Dashcam, and I couldn't for the life of me find anything on there that said the word Dashcam. I looked around, popped into here in case it was in here or something. There was nothing on there that said Dashcam. Came out, and looked all over the place, couldn't find it until I realized, having pressed the numerous icons, that a button that had appeared was this one here called DVR. And I'm assuming it's Dashcam vehicle recording. You press that and there it is, and that shows now that the camera is now working to my great enjoyment. It's good to see that it actually works. So there we go, that's the Dashcam now working. So let's carry on with the rest of the installation. What I'll do now is to remove the panel here. I know I've got to remove this center section, and I've been playing around and I can't see how to do it. So I'm going to take this panel off first, which I think I just need to put my hands behind at the back, pull it down, and then see if I can pull this off, because without taking this off you can't get it past the rear view mirror. So I'm going to have a go at doing that and I'll come back to you. Okay, so these are the two pieces, and that's what I used to pry this piece off, which fits like that. That was really tricky to do. So somebody else said to take this piece off first. There's no way you can get that piece off first. Not that I could see. I did try, but you can't. You can try and get something underneath there, but very difficult. So I'll pull this down. Literally, just put your fingers there, pull it away, and this one clips very easily. And then on both sides, I just use this device, the thicker bit, to go underneath and unhook either side like that. And I kept doing that, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pulling until eventually this just sprung away, fell on the floor, and this then fell on the floor as well. So not easy, not impossible, but not easy. So just be aware that there's a lot of fiddling about to do with that. Welcome back to day 2 of how to install a dash cam on a 2025 BYD Atto 3. So let's recap on what we've done so far. The first task was to remove this panel that was up here. That was quite easy. Just literally put my hands behind the panel itself and just pulled it away. Just be very gentle, don't pull it too hard. The only difficulty was the bits around here, around these bits here, and then I just had to use a tool that was supplied, one of these, and it's just a matter of just putting it inside and just clipping away. Again, a lot of patience required, but it didn't take more than a minute to come out. Then, having removed the panel here, there is this one here, which you do have to remove in order to put your cable in, and that was just a matter of pushing it down on the top and pulling it away, and then you fit the cable. The blue one goes just behind, so it goes just to the right of that black cable. Tricky, definitely tricky to do. Take your time, but I got there eventually. The next job was to remove this part, which is located behind the rear view mirror. Again, wasn't difficult. It was just a case of putting your fingers behind this part here and gently prising it away. The difficulty was this part that sits on here. Every other installation video I've watched so far says to remove this first, but that is impossible as far as I'm concerned. So what I had to do was to release this main part and then very gently prise this off, again using the tool I showed you earlier. You really have to take time on this one. It took me a good 10 minutes with a few cuss words in there, but eventually it came away. So do be patient, do not force it. You will break these tags on the side there, and once you've broken those, it won't stay in place. Right, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm on the right hand side if you're in the UK, and the dash cam installation is going to be on the right hand side for UK model, or left hand side if you're going to be on a left hand drive car. And you can see here that there is a blanking plug to be removed, which I think you just push out. So there it is, that's it removed. I had to do that off camera because it was a little bit awkward, and I had to use a screwdriver to push it out. It just wouldn't come out with my fingers. The dash cam itself, the camera has a lug on the left hand side here, and that lug will be fitting into this part here. So I'm going to fit that now off camera. Okay, so you've got two lugs on the side of the camera, which fit into here, one there and one on the other side. So it should be a case of pushing it in, and there you go. You heard it clicking, and that is pretty, well, it's very secure. So the next tricky part now will be installing the cable from the bottom up to the top, behind the rear view mirror into the camera itself. And the first thing we have to do is remove the glove box. So you've got these two screws, plastic screws, one on either side, and these will have to be removed, and then you can take the glove box out. So you just need to turn the screw a quarter of a turn clockwise, and then the screw itself just pulls out. Now you can just lower the glove box. I don't think you need to take it out. I'm not going to unclip it, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I think that should be sufficient for running the cable behind. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually pushed the cable just up behind here. Literally, just there's a hole there up behind here, so it's coming from here up behind here. That's where the cable came up through. That was very easy to do. And then with this piece, where are we? With this piece, you have to get this piece behind here and out through here. And this is how I managed to do it. Well, I haven't done it yet, but this is what I've had to do. I've used that to push it back a little bit, but I've had to pull it with a screwdriver just lodged behind. So I'm going to pull that back there now, and then push the connector through, which unfortunately I'm going to have to do off camera. Okay, a little tricky. I just had to literally pull this back to create a larger gap, and then I just pushed it through. It wasn't that difficult, to be honest. It took about a minute. I was just messing around. I just had to get this in the right place, so I had to move it down a little bit. But now I've got that. Now I've got it through. The next job now is to get the cable into the back of the camera. A bit tricky when you're trying to do it one-handed. Okay, so it's going to be, just looking at this, the two pins go down the bottom. There's two pins here. On the bottom there are two female connectors at the bottom, and you can see quite clearly where it fits. So it's just a matter of pushing it in place. like so. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Great. So let's start running the cable, which is going to run behind here. There's a gap. You can run it all the way along there. Here you have to be careful. This is where the side airbag is. The airbag starts about here, so you can run it just along the top part here, which I'll prise out. So I've just had a look myself, prise it over a little bit, and then down the side. So let's give that a go. Okay, so we're going to start pushing the cable behind here. Again, I'm doing it one-handed, so it's not so easy. Just there, it goes in, and then it's a matter of just running the cable right to the end. So I'll just push it. I'll turn the camera off and do it a bit better with two hands. Okay, here I've just used this tool here to just prise this away. So I started at the top there, pulled it away enough just to push the cable in. I had to do it off camera because it's a bit tricky, and now it's just a matter of just using this to pull it away again like that, and then pushing the cable behind. And then once you've got it past here, and I'll have to play up with this a little bit, just mess around with it in a minute, you then just need to pull this away. I just used this little clip just to push it. You need to do it with two hands, so just by pulling that away and then pushing that behind all the way down to here. And any surplus, I'm assuming you would then just hide behind the glove box. So that's cabling from there all the way along the top of the windscreen, along here, and then down the side. And that's it. You can't see anything, so that's a success as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so the surplus, I'm just going to push behind here, making sure I don't obstruct anything, which I haven't done. And then it's just a matter now of putting this back in with the two screws. So now I've installed the cabling, just need to make sure it works still. It'd be terrible if it didn't. Where are we? Yep, there we go. So you can see there's two jobs left to do. The first job is to refit the cowling on here, and then the final job hopefully will be to install the SD card. Right, so I'm just going to double check how this goes together before I put it back up there again. So from what I can see, you've got a spring clip, or two spring clips, the larger one, the smaller one at the top and bottom, and then a locating lug in the center, and that's on both sides. So I would assume, and I'm going to fit this now, and I'll take it off again, is to push the locating lug into place like so, and then it should then just clip in. Yeah, that's it. And there it is, it's in. Obviously not brilliant, but there you go. That's it. So that's how it should look at the end. So let's just see if I it should just be a case of just undoing those lugs at the back. There you go, that's a lot easier. That's it. So it's very easy. So yeah, first thing to do then is to find where to put the locating lugs in here, which is going to be this part here. That's where the locating lugs go, and then once they clip into there, then the other bits should just clip in. So I'm going to do this off camera because it's going to be way too hard to do it single-handedly, so wish me luck. It's actually a lot easier to fit than it was to remove, only because I knew how to fit that centre bit. So what I did was I offered that up and then placed this into its locating lugs, pushed it into place, pushed it down the bottom here a little bit, and then there's a clip, one there, there's a clip one here, and one here, one in the center, and the same on the other side, and you just press it into place all the way around, gently, taking your time, and yeah, there you go. So it's all in. So that took me about, I don't know, a minute maybe. So yeah, a lot easier when you know how this bit comes off. So hopefully that will help anybody who's doing the install from now on. Okay, let's fit the SD card and let's see if it all works. The SD card came with the camera itself and a cable. So there's a camera, cable and SD card, and that device I used, the plastic device I used to do various jobs. 64 gigs, I'm assuming that's enough. I believe that you can only have up to 128 gigs. So right, let's get it out and get it fitted. Under the vents, down where you've got the USB-C connector, you've also got in the center the SD card slot. So I'm just going to fit the micro SD card into there, and there it is. Right, let's start up the app and see if it all works. Okay, so let's see where we got to. Let's push on to DVR. Okay, so it's no longer asking me to install the SD card, so that's obviously a positive. I'm assuming, is that, I don't know if that's actually recording. I think it's not. Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, in here you can see that that's the date and the time. So, and a little red light blinking away. That's assuming might be the VIN number possibly of the car. Over here it's showing me that I'm in park, so that would obviously change if I was in drive to D, and then the mileage, how fast I'm going. So I just want to see what happens if I press that. Yeah, so that looks like, yeah, and then I think you can take a snapshot on there if you want to, like a photo. And this one, I'm not sure what that does. I think it must lock the videos. I don't really understand that one. So what we got here, we've got settings. Okay, under settings you've got select recording duration. I think we'll go to 5 minutes. Driver info on recording view. Yeah, that's what we were looking at with the miles per hour, VIN number, date and time, etc. Delete data if you need to delete the data, and format if you need to format, or formatting all the data in the SD card will be cleared and it'll be partitioned to FAT32. Okay, don't need to do that. Okay, let's go to the playback list. And there we go. So we got playback here, 29 seconds. Okay, there we go. So you can see there, that's the playback. It gives you all the information, miles per hour, what you're in, you're wearing your seatbelts, I'm assuming VIN number, date, time, etc. Everything that you would need for the insurance company. So there we have it. Sorry I had to go in the car, it's so cold outside. Yeah, I hope that was useful. I think if I'd had an in-depth installation guide when I was doing it, it would have been a lot easier. There are other installation guides out there, but I tried to make it as in-depth as I could. Just so I've given you everything I've done, every step I've followed, so it should make it a bit easier for you. Good luck. Hope you do it without any problems, and I wish you a happy new year in 2026.